Resist the urge to turn your business into a rat race. Things are always moving, they're always happening, and it is your job to be the steward of the ship. The calm CEO that is in full belief that her dreams will manifest, she just has to stay on the path. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. We are almost in May, you guys, and today I'm diving into something that we all deal with in business, okay? The lulls, the quiet months. The client droughts. And more specifically, how the fuck do you deal with the client droughts, the lulls in business, and the quiet space when it seems like nothing is happening? The truth is, even when things are quiet, it doesn't mean that things aren't happening. And I would actually argue that they are always happening, especially during the quiet times. But if you're anything like me and my clients, or if you have ADHD, you're impatient, and it's okay that you're impatient. You just need to be careful about what you make the impatience mean and what you do with the impatience. Because I'm impatient too, very impatient. And for people who have ADHD, things are either happening right now or not now. I developed this concept that is perfect for the times where your impatience wants to get the best of you and you want to change literally everything, and that is external tweaking versus internal tweaking. When you feel impatient about your results, you're more likely to externally tweak, which is what you want to avoid. Externally tweaking looks like changing up your ideal client or your bio or how you help someone, or changing your sales page messaging, or thinking about starting on a whole new platform because you're convinced that yours isn't working. And doing all of that will only lead to more frustration and more impatience. Internally tweaking, though, is checking your impatience, doing your mindset work, getting coached, and refining if things truly aren't working. But honestly, sometimes you just need a fucking kick in the ass. So a while ago, Instagram announced that it was going to go back to a photo sharing platform. I don't know how real that is because I feel like reels are still like really huge. But anyways, and this made me laugh because I never listen to changes in the algorithm or any of the updates that some coaches put out there about the platforms. Like, who gives a fuck? When reels were a really huge deal in the beginning, people went crazy and thought that they only had to post reels and themselves like dancing and throwing it back in reels to get attention, right? It stressed so many of my clients out. And here I am doing normal posts, not giving a shit because the algorithm and Instagram don't decide how I get clients. I decide how I get clients. A reel isn't the reason why you're not signing clients. What you're saying and who you are is what's attracting clients. When people flip out because Instagram went down for the day, I don't stress because even if it went down forever, I would just figure it out. My Instagram actually got disabled in 2022 at this time for about 2 weeks, and I had to deal with possibly losing 4 years of content and my almost 4,000 Instagram followers. And even though it sucked, I just started a new one until they gave me my old one back. So like I said, yeah, it sucked, but a part of being an entrepreneur is just solving problems instead of panicking. I may have had the urge to panic and start changing things on the outside, but instead I checked myself. I may be impatient, but I put that energy elsewhere. I continue to manifest my goals. I continue to do my mindset work. I continue to create my content and sell my services. You can be impatient, but don't let that impatience mean anything. And don't let the impatience slow you down to a stop because you're convinced that things aren't working. Your quiet times, lulls in business, and client droughts don't mean anything unless you make them mean something. And the reason why things may continue to be dry is because you do make it mean something about you and your worthiness. And that's why so many coaches and businesses fail online, because when they're not seeing results, they internalize it, personalize it, and it drains their confidence. They convince themselves that nobody wants their offer. They show up less and less until they completely drop off. I've coached so many clients through their own lulls and client droughts, and they always come out on the other side. There was this one time where one of my clients was feeling really disconnected from her business, so we coached on it. She had a little tiny client drought as she was figuring out her shit until one day the faucet turned back on and she signed client after client again. She didn't change her messaging and overhaul her entire business. She just did some small refinements to her content, but she just mostly got coached through her beliefs and her thoughts. She did her mindset and inner work, and we made tweaks to her content to really call in her aligned clients. We coached so much on the belief in herself, what the client drought meant, etc. And that ongoing coaching is what helped her sign those new clients and get back into the groove of signing clients again. She didn't change her offer. She didn't change who she helped. We just worked on her belief, creating content that was communicating her message, sharing more testimonials, and mainly worked on her confidence while she was selling. And the clients came back around, which, of course they did, right? She's an amazing coach. A client drought means nothing about who you are as a coach. Absolutely nothing. But where people get fucked up is that they make it mean something, especially if they've seen great success and are experiencing a lull. It's a breeding ground for imposter syndrome. And you have to do your best to reject what your dick brain is trying to say to you, because it's only going to make your client drought even worse. Business is cyclical, my loves. There are seasons, it goes up and down, and this can be scary as fuck at first because we're so conditioned by the corporate life. We as a society have been conditioned to see work as 8 hours, 5 days a week. We've been conditioned to be paid bi-weekly and to manage our money that way too. And eventually we get so used to it that our brains just naturally work in that way and see it that way too. But it's not the only way. Entrepreneurship is different. It is normal for income to fluctuate. It's normal for there to be lulls and quiet times. It's normal for there to be highs and lows. It's not personal. It is not you. I think about how I react to these times now versus when I started my business. In the beginning, I would be so panicked. My content had this hustly component to it. My fear was magnified. But now it's like I'm reacting to a screaming toddler who wants candy and a reaction. I'm just letting whatever it is be. I'm letting it happen. I'm not thinking it should be this way or it should be that way. I'm truly okay with wherever I am. And this took work. It still does. But my results come so much faster when I do this and when I'm not attached to the outcome, when I'm okay with where I am, and when I don't should myself to death about where I am. That's when things start moving. Right? I could be here forever. I could never scale into 6-figure months. And how can I be okay with that? How can I be okay with never making $1 million in a year? Can I be okay with just 5-figure months? Of course I can, right? I was okay when I made $3,000 a month, even if I didn't feel like I would be okay. And this can be very difficult to hear if you're struggling. I get it. I really, truly do. But thinking that you need to be or should be somewhere elsewhere is just going to make the lulls in business and the client drought so much more painful and so much more longer than you want them to be. You guys know me by now. You know that I'm going to say it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything unless you give it motherfucking meaning. But you resisting your current circumstances is just making it harder on yourself. It's so contradictory, I know, but when you stop being so damn attached to your current circumstances and just let it be, that is when things start moving and happening. So this is what I've done when things are quiet, okay? I move energy, I cry, I meditate, I complain to my business besties, and they snap me back into reality. I get coached, I think about my marketing, my messaging, and clarify it even deeper. I don't change platforms. I simply work on how I'm showing up on the platforms I'm already on. I look at my limiting beliefs and my confidence. I work on my content. I calm down my nervous system. I regulate my nervous system and remind myself that I'm safe and okay, no matter how long I go without a sale. And I coach the fuck out of the clients that I do have. Even when I've had client droughts for a month or two, my clients have always gotten results. Business coaches struggle with this when they're struggling with their own business. They'll subconsciously repel clients because they think that their lack of results will mean their clients won't get results. But if you have a process, if you have expertise, you can absolutely help somebody still. And that's why my clients were still signing clients and making money, sometimes even more than me, when I was going through a client drought a couple of years ago. My clients never suffered when I was in a dry spell because nothing means anything unless we give it meaning. Your work is important, valuable, and necessary, and business is cyclical. A lot of the time, things will feel quiet and stagnant, but that doesn't mean that they are. Your job is to keep your belief high no matter what. I so hate the messaging that says that you get dream clients every week and dream clients busting down your DM doors. First of all, I couldn't handle signing clients every week because I'd be way over capacity. Be real with yourself and ignore the ideal business messaging where well-meaning coaches that actually have no idea how to market loop you in with this dream ideal business where clients are coming out of your ass. When in reality, a sustainable growing coaching business is nothing actually fucking like that. And your body knows that you couldn't handle 50 clients a month, but your brain sees this kind of messaging or it makes up this unrealistic, unhelpful story that things should always be happening on the outside for you to feel good about yourself and feel validated, when that isn't the case at all. Resist the urge to turn your business into a rat race. Things are always moving, they're always happening, and it is your job to be the steward of the ship. The calm CEO that is in full belief that her dreams will manifest, she just has to stay on the path. And in the meantime, the work to do is on yourself and becoming the best coach, the best CEO that you can be. You are building lifelong skills and building a sustainable career, not a quick fix, get-rich-quick scheme that sees a coaching business as a cash cow and has no regard about what it means to actually be a coach. Things are always happening for you, my love. You're not special and the universe didn't leave you out. No matter who you are, where you've been, or what you've done. Okay, wait, this sounds suspiciously like As Long As You Love Me, by the Backstreet Boys. But anyways, no matter what, you can make this business work, okay? You can be a successful, amazing coach. Keep at it. Don't make your lulls or your quiet times in business or your client droughts mean anything. And handle it with the knowledge that you will eventually sign a client and that you are okay and safe and good regardless. I love you, and no matter what stage you're at in your business, there is a seat for you at my table. Come and work with me inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program to make 5K months, and then come into the Fraud Squad Mastermind if you're ready for 10K plus months. The links are in my show notes. I love you so, so much, and I will see you in May. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at Your Coach Jill. See you next time.